I'm your host, Madrina, and welcome to Rolling with Madrina. I'm a community service organizer, motivational speaker, and an advocate for the people. I am living proof that your struggle can be your story and your trauma can be your triumph. I've dedicated my life to giving back, and I want you to roll with me while I speak with those in our community who are doing what they do best. Now watch and listen for what you can do to join their cause. Aloha, and thank you for watching Rolling with Madrina. I'm your host, Madrina, coming to you from downtown Pensacola inside the Blab TV studios. And I have a new guest, first time here, a new organization that I didn't even know about. So I'm excited to share this information with all of our viewers. I can't wait for you to meet our guests and hear everything that there is to learn about Surf Brigade. This is my friend Kevin La Liberté.
Yep.
It's probably pronounced, you say it.
La Liberté.
Very fancy word there. We practice off stage and I always get names wrong. But Kevin is here. He is the founder and executive director of Surf Brigade. And you're going to say, what is that? Well, we're going to tell you everything about it, who Kevin is, where he's from, what he's done, and what is he doing now. And I promise you it's going to be some great information that you're going to want to know because it's geared toward veterans. And we're here in Pensacola, Florida, which is the cradle of aviation and military all around us. So I can't think of a better place for you to set up shop with your nonprofit, the Surf Brigade. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Madrina. I appreciate it.
Thanks for rolling with me.
Yeah.
So who are you? Tell us first what obviously you're a vet and you have some military background. Tell us what your background is.
That's right. I was in the Air Force for 23 years. As we talked about earlier, I've moved all over. I lived in Japan, Korea, Germany, Georgia, Florida, Colorado, and I've been all over the Middle East and Africa as well, deploying throughout my career. My wife was also in the Air Force. That's how we met. So we are a veteran family. And her parents were also. So we're a generational military family.
Very cool. Great place for you to be.
It is. And as you probably know, this is a really dense veteran part of the country. Between Pensacola and Panama City Beach, we have 6 military bases within 60 miles. And so if you want to start an organization that has an impact on the veteran community, this is the place to do it. And that's why Surf Brigade was started here.
And were you here and then thought to start it, or did you have that in mind and came here to do that?
We were stationed here on the Emerald Coast at Hurlburt Field 3 times over the course of the 23 years in the military. So this was kind of always home to us. My wife and I met here. We had our first child here. Today's her birthday.
And by here, happy birthday. And by here, you mean where? Pensacola or?
Hurlburt Field.
Hurlburt Field.
Yep. And today's my daughter's 10th birthday. So happy birthday. And so we left and went other places, but we always came back here. This is where I learned how to surf. This is where I navigated a lot of challenges that other veterans do also, which is what Surf Brigade is centered around. And when it was time for us to pick where we wanted to live permanently post-military, this is where we picked.
Nice. Lucky us. And you said you were in and out of Hurlburt 3 times. What sector or department or what did you do within the military?
I was a TAC-P in the Air Force, which is basically a forward air controller. And so the first time I went through Hurlburt Field was for my initial training a long time ago. And then I went on to be stationed in Georgia. I came back for an assignment at Hurlburt Field. We left again. I came back to Hurlburt Field for another assignment.
Like some special ops kind of stuff?
I was in special operations.
I just wanted him to say that. I don't even really know what all that means, but when you hear special ops, you just think that's super cool. And those are some really bad dudes.
Hey, thanks.
That's what I think. And thank you. Thank you for that, because that's how we sleep well at night, because you guys are out there in the dark world fighting it for us on the front line. So
That's right.
Thank you.
That's right.
And so then you were in touch with a lot of military guys when you got out?
Yep. So when I retired, I immediately latched on to the veteran community and started networking and communicating with a lot of veterans in this part of Florida. And what revealed itself to me was that a lot of veterans who were struggling, this is not to say every veteran struggles, but the ones who were or the root cause of those is typically very similar. And when we drill down to the reasons why this was happening over and over again, it revealed itself that there were basically three core problems that veterans were navigating. And so Surf Brigade was built to address those head on and to also introduce veterans to the surfing culture and community to fill voids in their life that they may feel post-military.
And are you going to cover those three different pillars that you thought would be the root of emotional problems and whatever problems?
I will, yep. The first problem is purpose. And the reason why a lot of veterans experience a purpose problem is in the military, we call this pegging the purpose needle. At a fairly young age in life, military members, service members, are given an immense sense of purpose with everything they do. It justifies great sacrifices in their life, loss in their life as well. And that purpose is what drives them through a lot of otherwise very challenging circumstances in life. That can be a blessing while you're serving in the military, but it can also be a curse post-military because when that sense of purpose goes away, that needle starts to come down, and a lot of veterans can feel that lack of purpose in their life. That can start to impact their careers, it can start to impact their relationships, their friendships, and a variety of other areas of their life. And so what we help veterans understand is you can still experience all the purpose that you need in life, but it's probably not going to register as high as it did when you were in the military. And you're probably going to need to go and get that from several different sources. You may not find it from a single source like you did when you were in the military.
And I've heard that before with other vets and other organizations that they were E8 or E9. My father was an E9 in the Navy, and of course he walks in the room and they're saluting him and they're at attention. And now he's retired and he just didn't have that purpose anymore, and it's like they just shrivel up almost if they don't find that purpose. But some of them have come here and thought, I used to walk in and everybody would know who I am. And now I'm just like the dad taking the son to the basketball game and no one gives me the time of day. And it can really be a psychic shift, and a mental shift in your mind. You're like, well, I used to be somebody and now I'm nobody.
Yep.
That sort of is a little bit on that purpose there.
Well, what you're explaining ties into our second pillar, which is narrative. And when you're in the military, you have a really strong narrative. A narrative is a storyline that explains how you fit into society. And the military, while you're serving, gives that to you. You put the uniform on every day, and when people see you, they know you are a military member. And so they typically, at a glance, decide you're a good person, you're loyal, you're a servant, you're trustworthy, and it's easy for them to understand who you are and what you do. But much like purpose, one day when you take that uniform off, it's challenging for some veterans to explain to others how they fit into society. They may have a great job. They may have great relationships in the community. They may do really exciting things, but they may struggle to stitch that all together into a narrative that's easy to explain. And if you can't easily explain to others how you fit into society, it can be challenging for you to understand yourself how you fit into society. And if that is not a clear path for you, it can impact areas of your life as well. It can shake your confidence. It can affect your relationships. It can affect your work. It can affect a lot of things very unnecessarily, because the reality is you are probably fitting into society exactly how you should be. But while you served in the military, you never had to write that narrative before. And now for the first time in your life, you need to. And if somebody doesn't know how to do that. You're not being told
what to do, what your purpose is, who you are, what your narrative is. Now you're on your own to figure all that out. And you're like, wait a minute, I've spent 20 years of somebody telling me how to be, what to be.
That's right.
And so it's a huge adjustment, I would imagine.
And so we help veterans identify what their purpose is, and we help them write their narrative. So when they're done with our program, they walk away from it knowing with confidence what their purpose is and what their narrative is. And in a short amount of time, they can explain to someone else how they fit into society. And the purpose of this entire program, before we go into the third pillar, is to build resilience across the veteran community. And that's what we're doing by removing these difficult barriers that they're trying to navigate on their own.
Yeah. And how do you help them write that narrative? Do you talk to them, the different things that they're interested in, passions, or how do they help develop that narrative on their own?
We have an actual task condition standard based curriculum that has been
That's
developed.
Still military, right? You got to have an acronym for that.
Yep.
Is there a T, S? Is there something that's
We have a curriculum that has been published, and we use it in our program. Excuse me. And this walks veterans through day one of the course all the way to completion. And so in between each of our sessions, which I'll tell you more about in a minute, veterans are required for accomplishing the coursework. That means they have to read the curriculum on purpose, and then they have to go through the exercises in the workbook, writing their purpose, and they have to discuss that with their battle buddy, which they're issued in the program, before we meet on the beach, where we all discuss it as a team.
Yeah, it's like you sign them a mentor.
That's right. Everybody has a battle buddy.
And did you create this curriculum?
Yes.
Did you came up with this? You didn't get anything from a national chapter or any other resource? You just, from your own experience with 20 some odd years managing military personnel, you knew what it took and how to create this.
Yes, I wrote the curriculum, but I had a background in the military and curriculum development, which certainly lent itself.
It was divine intervention, perhaps.
To this,
to prepare you for today.
And I've also published a long list of books, and so I had some publishing relationships already, which allowed me
Should have brought your books.
Develop the curriculum. You can buy it on our website or on Amazon as well.
We'll get it first. Go ahead. Name the books. Go ahead.
This one book that we're here to talk about is the Surf Brigade Surf Therapy Workbook.
And it's on Amazon?
It's on Amazon, yep.
All right. Well, we're going to have to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to learn, what is the Surf Brigade? What is he talking about on the beach and bonfires and stuff? And what is that third pillar that we're still yet to cover? We're going to find out more from Kevin about Surf Brigade. We'll be right back.
Do you want to create but don't know where to start? Our new fabric line will inspire you. If you can dream it, we can help you make it. From using kits that include everything you would need, to taking classes to create something more personalized, Daryl's is the place for you. No matter if you're just beginning or experienced, Daryl's has you covered. Find us at 6705 North Davis Highway. Open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Hi, I'm Madrina. Be a mover and shaker in our community by helping others overcome problems ranging from health to substance abuse, from personal safety to neighborhood issues, from taking care of your kids to taking care of your parents. Come on our show and tell people how you did it. Be a community hero and watch Rolling with Madrina, Thursday nights at 8:30, only on Blab TV.
What do an aerospace engineer, cancer immunologist, and bat scientist all have in common? We all have cool jobs in STEM fields. Whether it's building robots or learning to code, girls everywhere are finding their passion for science, technology, engineering, and math through positive role models and mentors. So dare to dive in, get connected, and explore. You never know what your future may hold. Learn more about these and even more cool jobs at shecanstem.com.
All right, welcome back to Rolling with Madrina. I've got Kevin with the Surf Brigade here. So we talked a little bit off break. I wanted him to paint the picture of what that whole 4-week program is that he does out in Okaloosa. But before, we talked about 2 pillars that you wrote in your curriculum. And what is that third?
The third pillar is community. So purpose is our first pillar, narrative is our second, and community is our third.
Okay.
And the reason why we focus on community is when you're in the military, you spend a large amount of time with people who are just like you. People look like you, they have the same hobbies as you, they have the same jobs as you, and it's easy to get along with people who are just like you. In fact, when you move from base to base over the course of your career, it's necessary for everyone to be so much alike so we can plug into a new organization and get right to work.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what it would be like if everyone were not like each other?
Yeah.
The change management would be paralyzing to military organizations.
Right.
And so what that means is for 20 plus years of your life, you never really had to try hard to make friends. You never really had to try hard to plug into a new community because everyone was just like you.
Yeah. And they
so,
had their units and their departments and their commands and their posts.
Lots of things in
built in for them.
In common with each other. And then one day when you take the uniform off, your narrative is gone, you have a changing purpose. Now you have to find a community and you have to try to be a part of it. And some veterans have never done that. The last time they had to make friends may have been in high school.
Right.
And so they can be left feeling a little disenfranchised, maybe isolated. They don't want to explain themselves over and over to people. And so the third pillar of Surf Brigade is community, and it exists to bring people together with surfing at the core. It's the reason why we all meet on the beach and we spend time together in the water. And the idea is that after Surf Brigade is done and after veterans have completed the program, we now have something that brings us all back to the beach over and over again, so we keep spending time together and nobody's left feeling alone or feeling like they don't have anything in common with others in this area, because everyone who comes through Surf Brigade has the skills and knowledge on how to surf. They have a battle buddy who knows how to surf, and they have access to surf equipment. And so as long as you're participating in this program and putting in as much as you expect to get out of it, you have a new community to be a part of.
But no surfing experience required to get involved.
No surfing experience is required. We provide instruction, we provide all of the equipment, and we even provide adaptive equipment for veterans who have disabilities. In our spring program, we have our first veteran who is paralyzed from a spinal cord injury while serving on active duty, and even he is going to surf with the team.
How life-changing is that?
It's incredible. It's great.
What made you pick surfing?
Surfing, there's a lot of therapeutic qualities being in the water, all water, particularly the ocean, and then surfing as well. And one of the ways we explain it to veterans when they ask why surfing is when you're in the water, when you're surfing and you're finally catching waves and you're looking down the face of an unbroken wave.
A huge barrel out there at Okaloosa. Huge barrel.
There are barrels here occasionally, but even on a small wave, the thing about surfing is you have to look where you want to go. And so that requires you to look ahead. If you turn around and look behind you, you're going to wipe out. And such is life. And so for veterans, what we try to help them understand is you have to look ahead. There's no sense in spending an inordinate amount of time focusing on what's happening behind you. We know that stuff happened. It's back there, just like the wave is as well. But if you want to move forward, if you want to surf forward, if you want to move forward in your life, you have to look forward there. And so we're teaching them to do this through surfing, but it applies to every other area of life as well.
Actually, as you're speaking, about your 3 pillars, and then when you don't have that purpose, when you don't have that sense of community, when you don't have that narrative, that's so true in life for everyone. Young girls, just even adults. I mean, when you don't have that sense of purpose and a purpose in your community and a community around you, you really you can feel depressed and isolated and insecure. And then it just gets worse and worse. And the next thing you know, you're in a rabbit hole. I particularly love that you picked surfing because in Hawaii, where I'm from, as you can tell here with my beautiful screen, Hawaii, the ocean is seen as healing.
That's right.
And with great magical powers.
That's
and it's
right.
something that I practice in my lifetime, that if I need to release something, you can always go to the water's edge, and it can be a place where you can release that and go deeper and deeper, and then, you know, kind of come out like a new person and having left all that behind. So I think that's a great tie-in to what you do.
That's right. In fact, this year we're actually have assembled a research team of clinical psychologists and neuroengineers who are going to be shadowing our veterans to conduct the scientific research to actually determine how this impacts things like PTSD, anxiety, and depression. And we expect that late this year or next year we'll publish that as well, which will help veterans understand how impactful this can be on their life beyond just you and I talking about
that metric's going to be huge for you, Kevin, not only so that you have that proof for that military demographic where they're used to being, you know, given all those facts, but also it'd help you with funding and grants. I mean, if you were ever to apply for any of the local big grants, they like to know the metrics of the rate of return. But you yourself have seen the results with the work that you're doing, correct?
Right.
With active vets.
That's right. You know, one of the things about our organization, and one of the areas that veterans find therapeutic, is not just surfing itself, but it's being a part of this organization. It's serving in Surf Brigade. It's volunteering their time. A lot of veterans spent decades of their life serving others, and now they're looking for opportunities to do that as well. And so we have veterans that come through our program and afterwards even tell us, I don't want to keep surfing, but I want to keep serving. And so I'd like to stay a part of Surf Brigade so that I can help make this happen for others. And
creates
we say,
an ohana.
Great, there's a place for you in the formation.
So nice. And does tell us then a little bit about the program. So you're finishing up a spring session, and you have a fall. So tell us how you enroll, how you apply, how's all that work?
So veterans will go onto the website, surfbrigade.org. They can apply to be a part of our spring or fall program. During these programs, it's a 4-week program where we meet on the beach every Saturday morning for 3 hours. During that time, we have a 1-hour guided discussion on purpose, narrative, and community. And then we have a 2-hour surf therapy session. We provide all the equipment, wetsuits, surfboards, leashes, and we provide instruction as well. And the 5th week, we have a graduation ceremony, weather permitting, where we have a bonfire ceremony on the beach to recognize the commitment that veterans made to the program, to their battle buddies, and to themselves as well.
I love that. And so you had one this spring and you're gearing for the falls, but how many sessions with this spring, how many sessions have you completed? I know you've just started in 2022. How many surf camps have you had?
We have just finished our 2nd official curriculum-based program. We were doing this as single sessions in 2022, and it truthfully grew to such an extent that we had to incorporate, and we had to structure this up from a resource perspective to make sure that it was sustainable and impactful on the veteran community. You
know, as I'm listening to you, nonprofits is my jam. I served on the board of Impact 100, where we give transformational grants out over $100,000 a piece and up. And when I'm listening to you talk, you're doing it right. You're forming it right. You're looking for the metrics. You're building it resources up. That's what you did in the military, wasn't it?
That's right.
You could tell.
Yep. That's right.
So if they want to get involved, is there a cost on that? Is that sponsored, or how's that look?
There is no cost to veterans to participate in this program.
Okay, good.
We generate our resources that allow this to continue without any cost to veterans through a small amount of sales on our website. That includes surfboards, leashes, and apparel as well.
What's that website? Go ahead and give
Surf
it.
Brigade.
We'll put it on the bottom here, but go ahead and say
that website is www.surfbrigade.org. So people can go on there, they can purchase and know that all of their money goes towards this program for veterans.
The programming, 100% of the proceeds go to the programming.
That's absolutely right. Donors can donate on the website as well. And then throughout the year, we also have some fundraisers, more information coming out soon on what those will be.
All right, so now we're here in mid-March. Are there any fundraisers coming up here during the spring or summer that you can drop the ball on us now?
To be determined.
To be determined. Exciting. But this is some good stuff here. And he's got a website, and it shows all the information on your website where they can get involved.
That's right.
And then in a perfect world, I know you were looking for, is there a place for volunteers to get information on your website as well?
Volunteers can also apply to volunteer on our website. They'll see a button they can click for that. And anyone can follow us on social media as well. We're on Instagram and Facebook.
Facebook and Instagram.
Surf Brigade Official. And we're also on LinkedIn as well, which is where a lot of veterans network.
A lot of veterans are on LinkedIn and find you there?
Yep, that's right.
That's good to know. Wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so Facebook and Instagram, or they can go to www.surfbrigade. I like the brigade. That's right. Intentional, right? Tell us a little bit about the book. Is the book about the story of how this came to be and how your organization was formed?
No, it's not. That information is on our website. There's a great and colorful description of how Surf Brigade started. But the book is specifically designed to lead veterans through our curriculum-based program. And there is also information on surf therapy, which can help a lot of practitioners who are treating veterans and may be interested in alternative forms of therapy. And so if there's a clinician out there who is treating veterans and they want more information about surf therapy, this book can also be helpful to them.
Yes, I love this. I think it's just so amazing. And we'll put the phone number, there's an email, all of that. The logos are on the screen. You had a spring session. When does the fall open? When is it open? You can enroll and you'll grab them for the next program, or is there a certain enrollment period?
It is open now, so surfbrigade.org/apply. They'll find that online. And that course will run for 4 weeks, mid-October to mid-November. Mm-hmm. And we meet on Okaloosa Island, which is sort of center point for the majority of our veterans. Although we also have veterans who are flying in from around the country to participate in this program as well.
I love it. I think it's so cool. I hope you guys learned a lot about the Surf Brigade. Please check them out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We've got the information on the screen. Reach out to Kevin and he'd love to help you and support Surf Brigade. Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Aloha.